Hi, welcome to the Cooking in Real Time podcast. I'm Zora O'Neill, and we're doing another special video episode this week just so I can give you a quick tour of my kitchen. The important thing here is I just want to show that I don't have a totally splendid kitchen full of granite countertops and matching everything. In fact, nothing matches. But it's a very functional space, and I do have to admit it's much larger than your average New York City kitchen, and for that I feel incredibly grateful. But it's probably a lot smaller than a lot of people who don't live in New York City have, but it's still a very functional space. Quick tour, oils and vinegars up here, just so they're in easy reach, but we don't keep all our olive oil up here because it should not be exposed to light for a long time, but we go through it pretty quickly, so it's okay to keep sort of that bottle up here. We've got some more gear here in easy reach, my trusty microplane zester, which sounds like a huge product promotion, but this really is an essential kitchen tool. It really has changed the face of grating forever. We keep all our nice wooden spoons here right by the stove. Wooden spoons are incredibly cheap, and you should pick up quite a few of them in different shapes and sizes and get a feel of what feels most comfortable in your hand. And get a few silicone spatulas, one or two, and use them. If you use them very well to clean out your pots and pans, that's less washing you have to do in the end. We have a totally normal kitchen stove that was here when we moved in. Most important stuff, however, is all our cookware, and I would say the most key thing we have is a good collection of cast iron skillets. This is the most versatile thing. People don't use them very much because I think they're afraid of taking care of them. There's a lot of lore about treating your cast iron skillet perfectly, but in fact, they're pretty easy to take care of. If they ever start looking a little dull and the food starts sticking in them, you just have to fry up a batch of bacon in them and they're totally back to normal. We have a huge collection of them because we keep seeing them in vintage stores, and it's like little orphans. We have to take them home and give them a good home and love them. The only thing you can't use cast iron for is highly acidic foods that you're going to be cooking for a long time, so like a stew with a lot of wine in it. You don't want to use sort of untreated cast iron like that, and that's why it looks like Le Creuset, but it is actually a different brand, some other Belgian brand. I got this in a secondhand store. You can see it has a little bit of chipping on the bottom in the enamel coating. It's fine. It's been about that same level of chipped since I bought it. But this is, since the cast iron is sealed up by the enamel coating, you can cook acidic things in here, and this is perfect for stews. These are very expensive firsthand if you go and invest in Le Creuset, but they pay off even if you do buy one firsthand. We also have this cheap stainless steel big pot for boiling pasta. I occasionally make soup in here, but the bottom is a little thin and I'm afraid of things scorching. We have another big, great cast iron Dutch oven, which is excellent for deep frying, but hardly essential. We want some kind of stainless steel saucepan, again, to deal with the acidic issue, because if you have to boil anything with vinegar or anything like that, you want to do it, again, in something like coated cast iron or stainless steel. And this was a gift. Thank you so much, Matt Shaw and Patsy. It's copper on the outside, which is great, but you actually don't have to have that. The key thing is to have a nice, solid, thick, insulated bottom and a stainless steel interior. And this one is nice because of the curve in here. Nothing gets stuck in the edges when you're stirring. We have tons of stainless steel bowls. They stack up, they're very cheap. If you're cooking anything big, you're going to need lots of receptacles, and those are great to have. Nice wood salad bowl. I have no idea how much these things cost. I think this was a gift, or Peter got it at some point, but I think they're a little expensive. Sort of thing people register for their weddings and things. In fact, here is a little object lesson in why you should not spend a ton on cookware. We've invested in this little very yuppie, pretty blue colander because we liked the color, and that was this winter, and it is already just cracking and crappy. Whereas our trusty $3 colander has held up for years and years and years. and we are very grateful. Over here, probably the most important thing along with the cookware is having a good solid cutting board that you take good care of, and just a few knives. One of the things I really hate to see is those packages of knives, the huge elaborate sets, when really all you need is a big chef's knife, a little paring knife, and a serrated knife. A serrated knife is great for tomatoes and bread, basically, and nothing works quite as well as that. And a serrated knife can be cheap, doesn't have to be a fancy brand at all. And your chef's knife, you can start out with a cheap one, and when you feel comfortable you can upgrade to a nice one and take good care of it. And your paring knife can also be totally inexpensive, though you'll probably go through it more quickly if it's cheap. That one we've had for years. So that's it. Yeah, welcome to the kitchen. I hope I've encouraged you a little bit that you can make good food without incredibly elaborate kitchen fixtures or fancy cookware. And I'll be back next week with some more cooking tips. In the meantime, be in touch. I'm at cookinginrealtime.com on the web, and you can email me at zora@cookinginrealtime.com. And I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening.